In brief on Adventist World Radio Kumasi. We are streaming live both on Facebook and on YouTube. Adventist World Radio 97.7 Kumasi. You can also search and download the Radio Garden on Play Store and App Store. That is Adventist World Radio Kumasi. www.adventistworldradiokumasi.com is also streaming this news live. Now let's go into the headlines. Cocoa farmers revolt over prices and threaten mass smuggling. Also, the Ministry of Education unveils new measures to strengthen colleges of education. Human Rights Committee urges increase in prison feeding allocation. The Office of the Special Prosecutor probes National Cathedral, tour deals and alleged sale of teachers' appointment letters. Also, in our international news, the US revokes over 6,000 student visas for law violation and security concerns. Now let's get to the details. A coalition of Ghanaian cocoa farmers have threatened to block officers of the national regulator, Cocoa Board, from entering their farms in protest against the newly announced producer price for the 2025-2026 growing season. The farmers argue that the price is too low and could push many of them to smuggle cocoa to Ivory Coast and Togo, where they believe prices are more favorable. On August 4th, government announced a farm gate price of 51,660 Ghana cedis per ton, which is equivalent to 3,228 per 64 kilogram bag cedis, representing only a 4% increase from the last season. Theophilus Tamaklu, Vice President of the Ghana Cooperative Cocoa Farmers and Marketing Association, said this falls short of the government's earlier promise to pay 70% of the free on-board price used in international trade. By that calculation, farmers expected about 3,800 per bag Ghana cedis. Award-winning farmer Kwame Alex also noted that the price gap with Ivory Coast is around 700 Ghana cedis per bag, creating strong incentives for smuggling. He said, "If I am close to the border, probably all my cocoa beans will go to Cote d'Ivoire because the government has not been fair to us." Farmers' threat to exclude Cocoa Board officers could disrupt extension services which provide technical support and crop monitoring. Smuggling is already a growing problem. Ghana reportedly lost about 160,000 tons of cocoa to illegal cross-border trade in the 2023-2024 growing season. Rising input costs have worsened the frustration. Insecticides now sells for 150 cedis, while farm equipment rentals cost up to 100 cedis per day, making the announced price even less attractive to farmers. Also, the Ministry of Education has rolled out new incentives to improve infrastructure, governance, and development across Ghana's 48 public colleges of education. Education Minister Haruna Idrisu made the announcement during inauguration of 7 new governing councils in Sunyani. He confirmed that 3 new institutions, Savannah College of Education, Ghana Muslim Mission College at Biposo, and Christ the Teacher College at Nsoko, have been added to the public system. The minister addressed the shortage of hostel facilities. In 2023, the government began building 45 hostels in 46 colleges of education. However, only 9 are close to completion, with 11 progressing slowly, while 25 have been stalled. To fix this, stalled contracts have been cancelled and will be re-awarded. 403 Ghana million cedis has been allocated from the Get Fund Trust to complete the project and ease student accommodation pressures. Mr. Haruna Idrisu also reviewed that 48 colleges of education are in the process of being upgraded to the university level. This transition requires changes to the law governing the colleges. The Ghana Tertiary Education Commission (GTEC) will work with the Attorney General's Department to amend the Act during the next sitting of Parliament. The minister stressed that Colleges Council must consult with GTEC before making key decisions, especially on appointment and structural reforms. About 20 principals are due for retirement or the end of their tenure of office in the coming year, and councils are expected to ensure a transparent process for replacement. The ministry says its ultimate goal is to strengthen teacher education in Ghana. Our goal is to ensure our colleges are well equipped to deliver high quality teacher education for generations to come, the minister iterated. In other stories, the Human Rights Committee of Parliament has appealed to President John Dramani Mahama to raise the daily feeding allocation for prisoners from 1 cedi 80 pesos to at least 5 Ghana cedis. The committee, chaired by Honorable Ernest Yao Anim, MP for Kumawu, described the current allocation as inadequate and said it undermines the dignity and welfare of inmates. It argued that an upward review would bring Ghana closer to both local and international standards of prison welfare. The call follows President Mahama's recent decision to grant amnesty to about 998 prisoners, a gesture the committee commended as a step towards easing congestion and promoting human dignity in correctional centers. The committee recalled its visit to the Insan medium security prisons on May 19th this year, where it urged government to fast-track reforms to improve prison conditions nationwide. According to the committee, a review of the feeding allocation, combined with amnesty, would help build a fairer and more progressive society. Now, the Office of the Special Prosecutor has launched investigation into several suspected corruption cases, including the National Cathedral Project, the Tema Oil Refinery, and the alleged large-scale sale of teachers' appointment letters. According to a 2025 half-year report released on Tuesday, the OSP is examining procurement irregularities, contract engagement and payment made by the former Finance Minister Honorable Kenneth Nanaya Oforiatta, the National Cathedral Secretariat, and other entities which are linked to the cathedral's construction. The report also reviewed an investigation into contractual agreement between Tema Oil Refinery and Tema Energy and Processing Limited, as well as the refinery's management from 2020 to 2024. Another major case involves allegation of selling teachers' appointment letters and laundering proceeds from the scheme. In addition, the Office of the Special Prosecutor is probing the National Commission on Culture over suspected corruption and extortion related to staff salaries and arrears. Special Prosecutor Kisi Ejabin, in preface to the report, stressed that the fight against corruption must focus not only on punishment but also on prevention, asset recovery, and systemic reforms. He said his office is combining enforcement with preventive strategies using Ghana's plea bargaining system to secure conviction and recover assets. Honorable Ejabin also called for a stronger anti-corruption framework, proposing a dedicated constitutional chapter on corruption, lifestyle audit, tougher asset declaration rules, and a reverse onus presumption of corruption. He disclosed that the Office of the Special Prosecutor is pushing for the passage of Corruption Practices Act and a Conduct of Public Officers Act, while also leading efforts to implement the new National Ethics and Anti-Corruption Strategy. He said, "The task ahead remains formidable, but our resolve to perform is even stronger." In our international news, the United States Department has revoked more than 6,000 visas belonging to international students, citing violation of U.S. laws and national security concerns. According to the department, most of the violation involved crimes such as assault, driving under influence, burglary, and in some cases, support for terrorism. About 4,000 visas were cancelled for students who broke U.S. laws, while 200 to 300 were revoked under terrorism-related provisions. The move is part of Trump's administration's wider crackdown on immigration and international students. Officials said some cases included students who had protested in support of Palestine, which the administration claimed showed anti-Semitic behavior. Earlier this year, the U.S. paused visa appointment for international students. When the process resumed in June, applicants were required to provide access through their social media accounts for enhanced background checks. The screening looks for signs of hostility towards the U.S. citizens, government, culture, or institutions. Secretary of State Marco Rubio told lawmakers in May that thousands of visas had already been rescinded, adding that more revocations could follow. Democrats have criticized the action, describing it as an attack on due process and academic freedom. Despite the crackdown, the U.S. remains a leading destination for international students. More than 1.1 million students from over 210 countries were enrolled in American universities in the year 2023 to 2024 academic year, according to Open Doors, an organization that tracks international education. Now, this is the end of our news in brief on Adventist World Radio 97.7. We urge all our listeners humbly to tune in even as we bring our wonderful music rendition. The news was presented by Ejapon Stephen Frimpong.